to purge the deep state, actually using the deep state to compile a list of data on all the people that live here. This shadowy company Palantir that works with the CIA and the military, they do all this fun stuff. They export all their technology all over the world to place, fun like Israel right now. I don't know what they're doing. I guess setting up breakfast stations for the Palestinians.
In this video, we join progressive lunatic Kyle Kulinski. Kyle Kulinski plays a clip of Tim Dillon talking about Palantir, which he doesn't have a problem with, but then gets very upset with Tim Dillon for not criticizing Trump. With that, let's watch Kyle Kulinski make a fool of himself trying to criticize someone 8,000 times smarter than him.
Back the next day to coddling his nutsack and telling him he's a special little boy. Because that's the problem, right? Is like, even Rogan himself, I don't know, bro. Maybe getting rid of due process is not the best idea, bro. But then the next day, it's right back to, the woke lefties are stupid, bro, and Trump is beige, bro. And so, like, I struggle to give these guys any credit, knowing that within a fucking week, they'll go right back to saying the same bullshit they've been saying all along. But here's Tim Dillon, and he's going after the Trump regime for the news that was reported on Palantir, namely that they're creating a mass blackmail database on all Americans, and he's not a big fan of that idea. Let's watch.
And that's where you bring in Palantir. The New York Times article here, the Trump administration has tasked Palantir, Peter Thiel and Palantir, with building a database of Americans, their financial info. So Peter Thiel, Palantir is founded by these guys, Alex Karp, Joe Lonsdale, and Peter Thiel. I met Joe Lonsdale in Austin. I went to his house. Nice guy, very smart. I described him on the show. He no longer likes me. That's fine. This is a pattern for me, right? This seems to be a pattern. I don't think it's, right? He had a great big swimming pool, and I love swimming, and I love a big pool. Most people don't have them. He had a huge pool. I think it was 80 feet. Doesn't matter. I'm being sued. He'll sue me for this.
Yeah.
I met him. He no longer, I think, is actively involved with Palantir. He's doing some other startup. Like, he's doing some other, he wanted to build another city and to compete with Austin or something. Everyone's got a fun idea at these tech things when you go. Everyone's got a fun idea. Everyone wants to do something revolutionary.
Yeah, the tech guys are fucking horrific. The tech guys are fascists. When you look at a guy like Elon Musk, who they all look up to as this fucking savior, here's a guy who wants to put a chip in everybody's brain. He wants AI to take over. They look forward to when AI takes over, right? He wants to go to Mars and occupy it. All he does is launch ships that explode when he's not robbing taxpayers $38 billion from taxpayers, $8 million a day. The fucking tech broligarchs are the worst of the worst. They're these weird, like, transhumanist, futurist type people, and it's fundamentally anti-human.
In March, President Trump signed an executive order calling for the federal government to share data across agencies, raising questions over whether he might compile a master list of personal information.
I want to point out something really, really funny that illustrates something that I say all the time. I think everybody knows, but you just saw it in real time. Kyle Kulinski said, these guys like Joe Rogan, talking about them being flip-floppers, these guys like Joe Rogan, one day they say, maybe taking away due process isn't a bad thing. And the next day they say, like, Trump's good and this woke crap is killing us. So do you see how it's all or nothing with the Democrats? I talk about the intolerant left. I talk about if you don't agree with one of their 8 billion causes in that very minute, you're shunned from the party. You're maligned publicly. Kyle Kulinski just listed 2 issues. One was due process, one is woke stuff. He agreed with Joe on one of them, didn't agree on the other. Therefore, he's an idiot. He can't say, well, I appreciate him telling the truth about what he thinks about the due process thing, but, he still goes on with this woke stuff. I just wish he'd wake up to that, whatever it is. You guys hear me on this channel. I always say credit where credit's due, and I acknowledge when a Democrat tells the truth. I know I'm not the same as Kyle Kulinski, but I think that's the prevailing conservative attitude. We can agree on some things, disagree on some things, but his is agree on all of it or you're an enemy. Anyway, let's get back to it.
Mr. Trump has not publicly talked about the effort since, but behind the scenes officials have quietly put technological building blocks into place to enable his plan. In particular, they have turned to one company, Palantir, the data analysis and technology firm. This is where you have to start questioning if the Trump administration is like some type of op, meaning like, is this real? Is the administration that got elected to purge the deep state actually using the deep state to compile a list of data on all the people that live here. This shadowy company Palantir that works with the CIA and the military, they do all this fun stuff. They export all their technology all over the world to place, fun like Israel right now. I don't know what they're doing. I guess setting up breakfast stations for the Palestinians. Perhaps not. But this shadowy company is compiling a list of data of American people.
By the way, they brag about killing their enemies. What's his name? Alex Karp, I believe his name is, was bragging about, we go after our enemies. We kill our enemies. We're all about Western civilization. Israel is using their technology. They're using AI to massacre Palestinians so that they can all throw their hands up and say, hey, it wasn't me. I didn't pull the trigger. It was the AI that made the decision. I just watched it happen. You can't assign blame to me. I'm just a simple IDF soldier. But this is the sort of stuff that company does. This is what they do. And Trump wants them to create a mass blackmail database on all Americans. Data points, 300 plus data points on everything about everybody. Why would you want the government knowing all that? I mean, this is like the Patriot Act on fucking steroids.
The Department of Homeland Security and the Pentagon, when Mr. Trump took office, according to public records, including additional funds from existing contracts, as well as new contracts with the Department of Homeland Security and the Pentagon. So Palantir has received $113 million in federal government spending since Trump took office. This does not include a $795 million.
If you like watching videos like this one, like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Let's get back to the video.
Contract the Department of Defense awarded the company last week, which has not been spent. Representatives of Palantir are also speaking to two other agencies, the Social Security Administration and the Internal Revenue Service, about buying its technology. The push has put a key Palantir product called Foundry into at least 4 federal agencies, including the Department of Homeland Security and Health and Human Services. Pay attention. Health, taxes, financial information, right? Widely adopting Foundry. What a lovely, by the way, it's funny that this shadowy military CIA contractor is using a company called Foundry, a company that you'd think that you were getting artisanal baked goods from, except it's compiling all the data on you and everyone you know. So Foundry, widely adopting Foundry, which analyzes and organizes data, paves the way for Mr. Trump to easily merge information from different agencies. Creating detailed portraits of Americans based on government data is not just a...
I believe that Kyle Kulinski, if this database was proposed by a Democrat, I believe that he would be for it. His position is just always whatever the opposite of the Trump administration's is. So I think ultimately I don't align with him on this issue because I agree with what Tim Dillon's saying. I just saw this story today. I don't know a lot about it. I'm hoping it's not what it looks like. I don't think that a database of United States citizens is a good thing. I think that's been pretty consistent on the right for a long time. I'd imagine Trump will say it's in the interest of protecting the American people, and maybe he believes that, and maybe it is. As much as I'm happy with the Trump administration, I don't want to just immediately say, what the hell are they doing? Because I want the details first. But my instinct is, I don't like this. And that's why I brought up the whole Kyle Kulinski's opinion, because I really don't think he cares about people's rights unless they help him justify one of his dumb arguments. Anyway, let's wrap it up.
Pipe dream. This has got to be stopped dead in its tracks. And to the credit of some of the real hardcore MAGA people, they're actually pushing back on this.
Some of them are, but Tim, 2 days later, they go right back to sucking him off, because that's what they do. That's what they do. Everybody knows the vibe in the country has shifted, and the vibe in the country is deeply anti-Trump now because he keeps doing horrible things. And so to try to maintain relevance, it's every now and then you got, I don't know about, even fucking Laura Loomer does it. So I don't know about taking a $400 million Qatari plane, sir. That's not a great idea. But anyway, you're still the best president anybody's ever had. You should be president for life. This is what they do. Little tepid criticism, go right back to riding that dick. That's what they do. That's what they do, right?
We don't view everything through the lens of hating Donald Trump, Kyle. So if we criticize him, it's against a lot of things we're really happy that he's doing. So no, we're not going to abandon someone because we disagree with something that they did. You're stupid. But we want to hear from you. What do you guys think about what Tim Dillon had to say here and Kyle Kulinski's stupid criticisms? And what do you think of the whole Palantir situation? Let us know in the comments. Anyway, as always, really appreciate you watching, and we will see you on the next one.